YouTube, what's going on? What's really going on? How y'all doing out there? Today, I want to talk about the truth of voting. Now, hey man, y'all have seen my channel. If you're new here, how you doing? You can subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, it's fine. It's not really gonna hurt me at this point because my channel is fairly new. Nobody's really watching me, but I appreciate you being here, and you can decide whether or not to subscribe or not. Let me know in the comment section how y'all feel though, because obviously this is going to be a touchy subject, and I like your opinions. I like your feedback, and that's what we're here for, right? That's what social media is. But I just want to start off by saying this, and I'm not going to be I shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be too much of a long video. But we come into this world as babies, and we get a social security number, correct? How they get their number, I have no idea. But there's billions of combinations for 9 digits to give somebody. So that's why it actually works. If you're American, that is. So get a social security number. So that's a part of a system, correct? Kind of like to figure out who you are and what your life looks like, as far as financially, health wise and stuff of that nature. What you own, when you grow up. But first of all, we get immunizations when we're babies, correct? So that's also a system. We get the recommended number as, what is it, 6, 7, 8 shots when we're babies in the first month. Might even be more than that. I don't have a child, so I wouldn't know. But that's all a part of a system, correct? Of the medical field. So they got to keep track of that, see how many shots you get, so they won't, so they won't shoot you again, for lack of a better term. And they can keep track of all your shots that you get. Now, once you turn 5, you start school, pre-K, right? Pre-K, and then as you keep going, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, first grade, second grade, third grade, all through K through 12, right? So that's a system, correct? And that started, I don't know, early 1900s. It could be before the Great Depression, after the Great Depression. You can look it up, but I gave you like one example for me is my school started back in 1929. How? I have no idea, because that was the first year of the Great Depression. You can look that up, but we're not going to get into that. So they had enough money to start a school in 1929. I'm not going to tell you how the school. I don't think that's that important, because most schools started back then. Okay, most schools are 100 years old. Universities, universities, colleges, they've been getting money for a long time. So that's also a system, correct? First year, second year, third year, fourth year, they got a curriculum for you to follow to get credits, and so that once you get a certain amount of credits, you earn a degree, whether that be a BA, master's, AA, depending on the time that you put in and all the classes that you take, correct? So that's kind of like a system to keep track of your progress in school. Okay. So, and within that system, I don't want to get too deep, but there's a kind of a formula for the white people to attend, Ivy League schools or schools with, high standards, and for black people to attend the lesser schools, the poorer schools that don't have as much of a good as a great don't have as much of an elite education as the white schools, correct? So that's kind of a system that they put into place, correct? So that's been happening since since we know. What was the Constitution was written in what, 1776, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I know that's the year of our independence, but don't quote me on the Constitution when it was written, because I honestly don't know. But I'm just guessing, just being real with you. But that also put into place, you know, the freedom of men, but that didn't include certain races of people. We're not gonna get into that. But that was also a system, correct, that kind of affiliated, or not affiliated, but it kind of increased the value of a certain type of person over another type of person, correct? If you're an American, you're this way. You got freedoms, you have liberties of this, and if you're not included in the bunch. And within that is another system of race. Whether you be white, it's a little different. If you're black, Indian, Asian, Hispanic, can we all agree to that? So it's kind of like a system as well, correct? So now you're out of college, and for some reason you're like, oh, almost $100,000 in debt, if not over $100,000 in debt. You've been trying to pay off your loans by working at a 9 to 5 that doesn't have anything to do with your degree. So, in a way, you kind of have to get a job that pays a little bit more, correct? Otherwise, you'd be paying off that debt for the rest of your life. So, if they have more than one student, obviously there's way more than one student that attends school and have no way of paying their debt until after they get out of college, if that, in full after college. So that's kind of a system, right? It's sort of a system as well, so that the universities and colleges can make money, and the citizens and the students are doomed to pay it back no matter what with interest. So if you're not rich, you're kind of stuck with a whopping debt system until you get out of debt, right? So that's kind of like a system too. So I'm not gonna go into like getting houses and cars, because I mean, it's almost the same thing. You chose to go to school. You can also choose to get a house or a car. But let's let's stay off of the house and car for now. Let's just say you staying at your mom's house. You don't have, you know what I'm saying, you can't afford a house and a car. So obviously you're gonna stay at your mom's and just try to figure out a way to find a job in your degree that requires you to have at least a year of experience within that job, but still still need a degree to get the job that you don't have experience for. So it's kind of like a system as well, right? So it's kind of like hunt or be hunted, only the strong survive. And then there comes that cliche, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Because I know some people have found loopholes and then, slid under the radar to find a job where they've been privileged enough to maybe know somebody that knows their family, knows their parents, have a friend within the industry to get that specific job without any experience. And you will never know, because they're not going to say, when they're the receptionist say, oh, well, you can do this, you can do that. There's no shortcuts that people will, give for free that they got. You know what I mean? Everybody's not that you know, communal. Everybody is not that gratified to give help. I don't understand why, but it's the way of the world. You know, if I can do it, you can do it. I found a way, you can find a way, kind of deal. So that's kind of a system too, right? Anyway, last point. Uh, what was it? It was women first, right? Women was never able to vote at first, and then it came to pass. I'm not going to say the year because I don't remember the year. Then blacks weren't weren't allowed to vote, and then that came to pass. I'm not going to say the year, but I know it's pre 1960s. All this is pre 1960s, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me. Again, I don't know. So my thing is, all these systems have been in place for the last 100, 200 years, correct? Maybe even longer than that. 400 years. Slavery started in 1619, ended in 1864, 1860s, right? And they are still treating us like we're slaves, correct? If I'm mistaken, George Floyd was the prime example of that. Rest his soul. Prayers go out to his family. And I'm not going to name all the prior Black lives that we've lost. And in this decade, in this decade alone, they slaughtered the Indians so that we can be on this land. And I guess we are all a part of that now because we're on this American soil, right? So what I'm saying, guys, is that I'm not crazy about voting. I'm not voting. I already told most of the personal people that I know, because I don't really believe in it, honestly, to be quite honest. And I think there is a system. I think that it is a system just to siphon information about what the people care about versus what the people will stand for, if that makes sense. I mean, in my 32 years of living, I've never seen my parents be like, oh man, I'm so glad we voted, guys. You guys got to vote. See, we voted last year and this is what happened to us. And we got this amount of money, or we got this sort of deal with this kind of company or this type of program. We found a way, and it's because we voted that person in that we were able to do this. I've never had that happen to me. And a lot of y'all, I know, well, one person in particular that I've talked to will say, you don't do it for that, for those reasons, for people, or for your instant gratification. You do it for your kids that are coming up. You do it for the people who died before you. And that's all good and dandy. I understand that. But that's up to me. That's still my choice. I I don't encourage that type of mentality because I'm the one that's living now. I'm the one here now. I don't have any kids, and I don't know those people who've died for me. Yeah, they were black, and yeah, they might have been my ancestors, but according to me, my father was born in the Bahamas, and his mom was born in Haiti. So I don't know. I don't necessarily know who these ancestors were who were actually living here to change anything about America, and that's just real. So for you to tell me that you have to do it for the people who died for you, I don't know who these people are, and I don't know what they actually died for, and I don't even think they knew what they were dying for. Just to be included into something that is still can be swayed by a group of people. I'm not going to say white people because I don't know, but a group of special elite behind the scenes people that can still rig the voting system. They did they actually know what they were dying for? Did they actually know what they were dying for? I don't think they did. I honestly don't think they did. That's my opinion. That's on me. And that's how I feel. That's where I stand. You're dying for something that you think that you're dying for change, but it's not the right change that you're dying for. You're dying for a system that you believe is not rigged, it's fair, and it's for everybody. When we all know in past elections, past voting situations, that it all can be rigged. Some votes are not counted in some states, or some votes were lost in some. Are you fucking kidding me? How do you lose votes? How does that even work? How's that possible? First of all, how's that possible? We've all seen it before. We've all seen it in the Al Gore Bush election. We've all seen it in the Obama and Romney election, and the one before that. Clinton, Ronald Reagan. I mean, the list goes on. So who's really controlling this stuff? Who's really controlling the voting system? The voting system. Keyword, system. All right, guys. Didn't mean for this video to go that long. I really was trying to keep it under 10 minutes. I really was trying to keep it short, but I guess I couldn't. This video probably not gonna get a lot of views. But hey, I said what I said. I said my piece, said my 2 cents. I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you if you're still here. I love you, because I know you fuck with me. But hey, guys, y'all be safe out there, and y'all make sure y'all know the reason that you are voting. Just make sure you know why you are voting, why you believe in the voting system before you make any decisions. All right, I'll see you on the next one, man. One take.